Hello everyone, welcome to Elliott Wave Analysis.com YouTube channel. Today is March 21st and the chart of the day for today is silver. 45 minutes time frame spot right here. We can see we ended with 1 with 2 in the minute degree here, and then 3 ended here, 4 ended in 3 swing without extension on the third swing, bouncing from the 100% extension area. So typical of a characteristic of a corrective structure so far. 3 swings down only. And now we're looking for extension higher to complete with 5 to the upside. Okay, now alternate. Well, we can break below the low and do a bigger double correction like this. This become WX and then Y. And then we'll find another support at the next 100% extension in that case. But let me show you in the larger time frame so that you have some ideas about what we are thinking here. If I look at the daily time frame, right? So let's put the 1, 2 here on the daily. This 1, 2 here is actually right here, 1, 2, and then here is 3, 4. Now, depending whether you are bullish or bearish on silver, whether you believe it's gonna go up, gonna go down, right? Now, technically speaking, it will be best if we can break above this peak, which is around 35. If it breaks above this peak, then there is no confusion about the right side, which is higher, right? Now, because technically speaking, unless it breaks above 35, we can do something like this. We still can do something like that, even though that's not what we are calling, but it is technically possible. But when we look at the shorter cycle, and that is if we look at the cycle starting from this low from last year December, now you can see the biggest swing from this rally is over here in the middle here. That's the biggest swing that we got so far, right? So that will be what you can call as a connector from the low. So you think of this as your first cycle. This is a cycle. The cycle ended and then you got a big pullback, right? So again, this size of the pullback is bigger than this, is bigger than that. So this and this belongs to the same cycle. And then again, if you want to know whether a cycle belongs to the same cycle or not, you can usually simply just draw a channel like this. And you can see that everything belongs to the same channel except this big breakout here. So then you can say that this is the same cycle which ended here, and then you got a new cycle which is correcting this previous cycle, and then after that you got another breakout above that previous peak, the end of the previous cycle. So you got a high sequence in this case, and in that kind of scenario, usually you would expect, not always, but most of the time you would expect continuation until at least 100%. Right now, if that's with 3, sometimes it can go to 1.618, but generally speaking, if you have a higher high or a lower low, and generally in the third leg is going to reach 100%, because technically speaking, even in a corrective structure APC or WXY, usually C is going to be equal to A, and then Y is going to be equal to the W. So what that means is that you can actually say that as long as we stay above this low, which is 30.8, then actually there is a good chance we will continue to go higher in silver. And then the minimum target in this case is going to be 35.4, which is 100% of this. Okay, and that's why I think if you look at the daily time frame, then the bias is higher. And I'm explaining the logic behind it, why the bias is higher, right? So the bias is higher, and as a result, if there is any pullback, if there is any, let's say, further weakness from here, then you might actually change the count a little bit, but it won't change the bias of the upside. So for example, if we do get another push down, let's say from here, now first of all, this a lot of people trying to trade randomly, right? But I think if you want to trade, always trade at the extreme area, because that will improve your chance to at least see some sort of reaction, right? So if you, let's say if you bought it here, which is a 100% extension 3 swing, then you saw this reaction here, which allows you to, let's say, take partial profit, move your stop loss to your entry level, and therefore your position is completely safe and risk-free. But now let's say the chart is calling for this, and then people trying to trade every single swing, but that's not really considered to be extreme area any longer here. And then and the option on the alternate suggests we can, for example, do a double. If we do a double, going back to the daily, I can adjust the count, and let's say I put it 1 here, and then now we're in the 2, and then in the 1 hour I can try, right? I can try to force the count so that we are ending 3 here. Let's say I'm moving 3 here, right? I'm moving 3 here, I'm moving 4 here, I'm moving 5 here. So then I can actually call it completed over here. So of course then everything is going to be downgraded like this, 4, and this is a 3, and this become the red, which is the smaller degree over here, 5, right, 3, 4, like so. And right, and that means we can be actually ending just to finish the alternate here. So this is just a downgrading the degree of the label, right? So we can be doing something like this. Let's say we get further continuation lower, so we can call 1 completed here, right? We can call 1 in black completed here, and then now doing a WXY to finish 2 in black. So going back to the daily, if we do for the downside, I can still call it this way. So this still can be a 1 and 2 from this low in a higher degree in the daily, which is the minor degree in that case. Okay, and we're going to be doing this with 2, but still expected to go higher, right? So shorter cycle, there are options where we can do further weakness from here, but it won't change the idea that I think the right side still remains, the buy still remains higher, because we do have a higher high from this December low here, and that we have a upside target to at least 35.4. all right, so hopefully this is clear, guys. And as always, if you want to get more updates, feel free to check our service. We have 14 days trial, and the link is in the description of the video. We are currently also running spring promotion if you want to get some savings to subscribe our service. And see you guys again next time, and have a nice day, everyone.